What's up, everybody? It's your pals Ben and Juice with a No Continues mini. We are now just 1 week away from the Switch 2, and Ben and I just wanted to get on and just talk, give our final thoughts, have a little questionnaire as to what we're looking forward to for the Switch 2 as we start to prepare for the launch in just days away now. We're literally just days away.
Yep.
So we wanted to just tackle some final things, some final thoughts before the actual launch. Ben, how excited are you?
I'm really excited actually. Like I cannot be more excited. I think a new release of a console is always the best thing in my opinion, like happening in what's happening in the gaming world. So no, I'm really excited. I know there's a lot of negativity unfortunately, but no, I can't wait to have the console in my hands. How about you, Juice?
Yeah, I'm just super amped. It was crazy, At first, we were counting down until the first unveiling in January. Then we were counting down
Yeah.
until the direct in April, and now we're literally counting down days, not
Not
weeks, not
weeks,
months, literally
days.
days until this thing comes
Exactly.
out.
And the thing is
So
too, I think, it felt like it was yesterday. Our first
I know it went
podcast
by so
talking about the
fast.
Switch 2, it felt like it was yesterday, like the week before. Like it's been a wild ride. We've like now we're 14 episode in or
Yeah,
13 episode in, and like the Switch 2 is already coming out. It's crazy, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's crazy. So you know, we've started to prepare for our full-on review that will happen, pretty shortly after the launch.
Yep.
So we had to start preparing the last 3 to 4 weeks, and I figured, why not just get on here one last time for a quick little, what I'm calling a no continues mini. We might do more of these in the future of
Yeah.
just us giving some quick thoughts talking about this thing. So Ben, I got some questions for both of us to answer.
Yep.
Are you ready to get into it?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Perfect. So let's start with just the console itself. What are the features of the console for the Nintendo Switch 2 that you are most excited for now that we have pretty much all the information leading up to this? What are you excited about the console specifically? Maybe there's some features you're looking forward to. What are you excited for the most?
I'm really excited about the fact that you can play your game 4K at a 60
Yeah.
FPS frame rate. Like that's all I'm asking for Nintendo. Honestly, I'm cool with 1080p usually with gaming, but the fact that Nintendo went out of their way to just be 4K, I think it's just cool in my opinion. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for it to play like I don't know Mario Odyssey at 4K or like Link's Awakening. I know we talked about Echoes of Wisdom when it came out, how much we were disappointed about the frame rate and the fact that we could probably play it 4K 60 or 120 frames per seconds. We still don't know yet. So, but we know that there's going to be a free upgrade. That's what I'm most excited of, like just playing the Switch 1 games in a way, at a better frame rate, better resolution. And I'm pretty excited about game chat. I know it sounds stupid, but and it actually runs like shit. Like, don't get me wrong, it really runs like shit. But I'm excited to see what it's gonna offer to for people that don't have Discord, that don't have PCs, that just wants a console to play their games, to chat with their friends, kind of like a Discord way to play with other, I'm just excited to see what it is with the camera and everything, and just I'm really excited. How about you, Juice? What is your the feature that you're most excited about? Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard to not to be excited, especially about your old Switch 1 games getting an
Exactly.
upgrade
Yeah.
path, right? And you and I have a backlog that's hundreds of games,
Yeah.
large when it comes to
Yeah.
the Switch 1. So I'm really excited for just any sort of graphical upgrade. I think when it came to you and I, we didn't ask for much when it came
No.
to a Switch 2.
Exactly.
We were like, please just make these things run better. Please just have upgraded specs,
Yeah.
and that's what we're getting. So I'm totally with you on the front of basically just having a console that provides shorter load times, better visual fidelity, and hopefully runs faster and looks better. That's all I wanted from a console like this. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. I'm also very curious about just the console itself. I like the Nintendo Switch. I'm one of the few people that really thinks it's comfortable in the hands.
Yeah.
I know you can change the Joy-Con to have something more to your
Yeah.
liking, but I even like it just the way it is.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited to see how this new console is and what they've done to maybe even make it more comfy to hold. Because from what I've heard, it's really like feels very luxury in the hand.
Yeah.
Like it feels like a premium product. Not that the Switch One doesn't, but it's taking this extra step
It's extra step, yeah.
right, just to be a little nicer, a little
Nicer,
crisper.
you know. Well, I feel like the wiggle of the Joy-Cons, you know, with it being rails, I feel like it felt like it was kind of cheap in a way. It feels premium, but the wiggle on the Joy-Cons whenever you play portably is where I feel like it feels kind of cheap. Hopefully they remediated that kind of like wiggle thing with the magnets. Apparently it's really like strong, but as we know, magnets over time they lose like magnet power, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. Like, so we'll see. I don't think it's I don't think the Switch 2 is a future proof device just because of that, but at the same time, like, you know, just buy other pairs of Joy-Cons or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. For me, I don't really take my Joy-Con off my console that much, so they've been pretty steady, but I've felt other people's Joy-Cons who aren't, like, they take them off constantly, and you can feel like this wiggle, right? Yeah, I'm sure you definitely know what I mean.
Like, and this one just, like, I don't have to push the button, you know, it just...
like...
So, the both of them, actually... And it sucks because it's like the Legend of Zelda Special Edition, so it's like
super nice.
Yeah, they're super nice, but they're kind of ruined in a way. I should have never opened them, but they're so pretty that I really just want to, like, you know, I don't know.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
As far as like the accessories go, another thing that I am looking forward to about the console side, apparently the grip with the Joy-Cons really feels much better.
Really?
That's what I heard. Yeah, and I'm also, like you, I'm curious about the game chat and the camera. The camera specifically, I'm very interested in seeing how that all works, if it greatly affects the gameplay.
Yeah.
I think you and I, we have like a huge list of what we're reviewing together on our review podcast.
Absolutely,
and this is one of the items that we're going to be using together. And I'm not excited, but I'm curious.
You're curious,
how it's going to play out. So, yeah, I'm totally with you there. And new Pro Controller, is it going to feel much more premium? I heard the sticks. That's the thing I keep hearing. The sticks, it feels really smooth. When
I'm just... What pisses me off about the Pro Controller, for the people that are watching on YouTube, I do have the Xenoblade Chronicles Pro Controller.
Such a nice controller.
Such a nice controller. And I'm going to have to retire it. I'm going to make a video soon about just like, it's time to retire my Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro Controller, you know, because of the fact that I'm going to buy a new Pro Controller. Man, I've been playing with this controller for like the past 7 years.
Yeah.
So like, and it has never drifted. It's one of the greatest controllers I could ever ask for. The only thing I don't like about it is there's no sensor triggers. So like the fact that, like, you know, like on GameCube games where like on Mario Sunshine, whenever you were pressing slowly, like the nozzle, the the nozzle would go like slowly out instead of being like 100%. So
super powerful.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I think is a downgrade on that controller. Hopefully the new Switch 2 Pro Controller has like kind of, you know, sensor kind of triggers, but I don't know, you know, it's Nintendo. I think they don't want to utilize this in their games anymore, so we'll see. But other than that, I love that Pro Controller. I love it. So it makes me kind of sad, but at the same time, it's a new product, so we'll see. Hopefully there's a Xenoblade Chronicles 4 Pro Controller coming out one day, but
Yeah, I totally feel. And the battery life on the Pro Controller, I hope it's very similar on the new one. So that'll be an interesting for us to see. So that's kind of the features of the console we're looking forward to. Let's get to the games. There's quite a few games that we could get into. I just wanted to list maybe like, you know, your top 3. What are the, you know, 3 3 games that you were looking forward to the most for Switch launch.
My top 3, it's weird. There's one game in there that is for a really stupid reason, and it's Rune Factory Guardian of Zuma. Because apparently, apparently it's a hybrid game that I call them. It's like you can play them on Switch 1. So it's a cart that works on Switch 1 and on Switch 2. So that's where I'm really excited about, like, just opening it, just seeing how the technology works, knowing more about it. That's one of the game that I'm very excited about to see. I have it pre-ordered. I'm gonna get it day one. I'm gonna do a lot of content about it, so I'm very excited. The second game that I'm extremely excited about is Donkey Kong Bonanza. I cannot wait for this game. I know I said it in the past that it looks like a tech demo. I still feel that way.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, it's a Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong is my jam. I love it. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. It looks amazing. 3D platformer, like, you smash everything. It just looks fun, you know, to play. I think the last one, I don't think it's a surprise for you, Juice, but it's Metroid Prime 4. I'm a big Metroid guy. You know, I love that series. I think it's been in development hell for, like, I think 8-10 years maybe, because it was supposed to release on Switch 1. They decided to go with Retro Studio again, so they, like, canceled the other game and they made it so Retro Studios were in charge of Metroid Prime again. I'm very excited. It looks amazing. We've seen a lot of gameplay for it. I think it's already finished and Nintendo are just waiting for the perfect time to release it. We know it's releasing this year, so we'll see. I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's Metroid, so it's going to be amazing, honestly. How about you, Juice? What are the games that you're looking for?
Yeah, there's quite a decent amount. I have some honorable mentions as well. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I
as,
do
stuff
too,
you're looking forward to at launch.
Yeah.
But one, obviously Mario Kart World. I'm very excited for it. I feel like I'm kind of done with Deluxe. 8 Deluxe. It's not that I don't like the game, but I've been ready for a new thing. You and I are one of the few people that had a Wii U, right?
Yeah.
So I've had this Mario Kart for a really long time, and I've just been ready for this new thing. And the way I've kind of looked at World now is that it doesn't take away from 8 Deluxe. It almost works like side by side. So if you want that pure Mario Kart experience, 8 Deluxe is still there for you. There's an insane amount of tracks. So if you get bored, like us,
there's so many tracks.
You'd have to. There's still so many.
Yeah.
World to me is going to be like kind of like this companion piece to it. It looks really good. I'm just really excited. After that, I am very excited for Cyberpunk 2077.
Ooh,
that's a pre-ordered one I got. I've never played it on any other consoles. This is my first time playing it.
Okay.
I really want to see the Switch 2 pushed to its limits with this game. I don't think it's going to be the absolute limits. I think the Switch 2 has a lot more to offer than just Cyberpunk 2077. But this is going to be a great, like, testing game, in my opinion, to be like, what can this thing really do for us and see how it is.
It's a pretty huge game, honestly. Like, when Witcher 3 came out on the Switch, everyone was impressed. Yes, it wasn't running the best. Yes, it wasn't the best looking Switch game, but it was kind of like an impossible port. And I feel like Cyberpunk 2077 is kind of like that at the same time. Like, how is it running on a portable console that well? You know, because we've seen comparison with the Steam Deck, we've seen comparison with the Xbox Series S, with the PS4 Pro, with the PS5, and it looks pretty similar as the PS5 version. Like, it's more close than I would like to admit, in my opinion. Like, that's how, like, I love Nintendo, but
it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know how DLSS work. I know how AI frame generating works. I've used it with my I use it a lot with Doom Eternal right now, because, like, you know, it's a pretty intensive game, and yes, it makes the game looks a little bit worse, but I can't really see that on the Switch 2 version. So I don't know what black magic they're doing, honestly, with Nvidia, what they're doing with the Switch 2, but it looks really great, honestly.
Yeah, it looks really impressive. So I'm very curious about that. And then the other launch game that I'm kind of ending on, that I'm really excited. These are like the three I'm going to
Yeah.
jump into right away. That's Fast Fusion.
Yeah,
Fast Fusion.
of course.
I know you and I are both going to play
Yeah.
it. Very excited for this. I
Very
really
excited
like
too.
fast racing,
Yeah.
RMX and fast racing Neo. So this is going to be a really fun one to see how it keeps up with. I think
Mhm.
it's only running at 1080 60,
It's
but I want to
fine
see
by
how it
me.
runs with that fast, that fast pace. They are
Yeah.
apparently going to try a 1080 120 and a 4K 60
That's
in a
cool.
patch later.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious about that, but this is definitely a game that I'm jumping into right
I-
away that I'm
I-
I'm super excited about.
I think it's really funny because I'm really excited about it. That was one of my honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions,
Fast
yeah.
Fusion. But the thing is I feel like they're kind of like a Nintendo developer now. I feel like
They're
they've
there
got-
at launch a lot.
Yeah, they're there at launch, and I don't know what they're doing other than Fast Fusion or Fast Neo.
Me neither.
Yeah, I've never played Fast Neo. I've played Fast Fusion a lot. Fast Racing, but the one on Switch.
RMX.
Yeah, RMX. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Honestly, I'm a big fan of F-Zero. I cannot wait for F-Zero GX coming to the GameCube.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think what I'm afraid of right now is if it's not gonna like, how can I say this? Like, if the sales of Fast Racing Fusion will not be hurt by the fact that GX is day one on Nintendo Switch 2, because whether we like it or not, whether we like that developer or not, GX is one of the greatest racing games of all time. Like, there's no, like, it's that's why Nintendo doesn't want to do another F-Zero, because they don't know how to peak this. They don't know how to make a game better than this. So I'm very curious to see like how it's going to affect the sales of Fusion with that. So
yeah, it's I like fast pacing racing games, so this one looks good. Honorable mention for me, Street Fighter 5 looks six looks interesting. I think I'll probably pick up the digital version of it because it's a lot cheaper than buying it physically.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's a game key card, so
yeah. So
what's the difference?
I am curious on how it's running there because it's a pretty graphically intensive game on the PlayStation 5 when you're playing. So
and it looks
that one I'm
way
looking
better
forward
than
to.
Than the Xbox Series S version. Yeah, so it's really impressive.
And then lastly, GameCube stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for GameCube stuff. I like the super simple accessibility.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to as far as games. Any honorable mentions for you, Ben?
For me, GameCube again, like Soul Calibur 2 especially. Like, I'm a big fan of this game. I own it physically on the GameCube. I've played it throughout my entire childhood. I always thought that game looked very like like Silicon Valley type stuff, like it kind of feels like surreal, that game, for me, because I couldn't understand why Link was in a game where it was so like kind of mature in a way when I was a kid, and the fact that we had like Link has a multiple of like arsenal. He has like multiple swords of previous games, like some pretty like deep lore type things, like he has the magical sword from the first game. He has a lot of things, so I always thought that game was like really weird in my opinion, but I played it a lot and I enjoyed it, so I'm very excited about this game. And again, Cyberpunk for me, same. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up at launch because like money,
of course.
But other than that, I'm so excited for this game. I really want to play. I only own a PS4. I bought it day one. I was very disappointed. So I'm curious to see how much, how does it run on Switch? And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna enjoy it more on Switch and on PS5 because I'm more of a portable gamer anyway. So
yeah, I'm totally with you there. There's a whole lot that we're gonna be able to play. So it's really exciting. All right, so that's for the launch. Now let's talk maybe the first like 6 months of the console. Is there anything you're looking forward to or you would like to maybe hope to see in the next 6 months of the Switch 2 launch to make you okay, I got the console now, what's next?
Wow. There's two things I would really like to see. First of all, more free upgrades.
Same.
I know there's a lot of games that has free that has 60 FPS patch in the codes, like a Thousand Year Door, Xenoblade Chronicles X. I think they're just waiting in order to put them at 60 FPS, which I can understand. I think they want to keep like the hype rolling, you know. So there's that. I honestly, like, I've made a video, but I really want Thousand Year Door to be at 60 because like that's one of the biggest gripe I had with the game is like the combat felt really slow. So I really want to, you know, I wanted to pick it up a little bit, you know, to be a little bit more faster, you know. The other thing I would really like to see, and I know it's weird, but like I'd like to see DS games coming to the Switch too.
Ooh, so would I.
Yeah. We know that the top USB-C port does not have video output, but the back does. So, yeah. So, I think Nintendo can make something out of it. Or maybe like revised version has a top USB-C port that has video output. DS games, like they were on the Wii U, it was selling. I don't know how much it was selling, but it was pretty popular. I wish we would have like an official like DS emulator in a way, in order to be playing those games, and it would honestly make NSO feel even more worth it, because I feel like it's already worth it right now for the price that it is. So yeah, no, that's pretty what I'm looking for into the next 6 months. The DS stuff might be a year down the line, you know, not right now, because like, you know, they're still gonna bank on GameCube games. But yeah, that's pretty much it. How about you? What do you think? What are you looking for the most?
Yeah, for the first like 6 months, I'm kind of with you. I would like to see more free upgrades. I'll even take some Switch 2 editions if they want to offer them, you know, for upgrades. Obviously, there has to be some sort of direct at some point, I think. You know, people are already saying June. I also feel like mid-June probably isn't the worst time.
Yeah.
Either way, we need one either in June or September. So those are the things that I'm looking forward to most. But I'm kind of with you in the sense where this is a great starting list of Switch 1 games that are getting, you know, free upgrades and Switch 2 editions. I would also very much like to see other games added, you know, things like Xenoblade we've talked about in the past, you know, like you're mentioning Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. It runs at 30 FPS on Switch 1. Be nice to get a 60 FPS patch, right? So all these types of things, I'd like them to keep doing that, keep giving us these upgrades and a couple of you know, Switch 2 editions more. I think it would be very strange for them to just have, you know, the 6 that they've announced, right?
Like, yeah, but it's kind of like a Nintendo staple that at that point, like sometimes they've announced during the Switch 1 like the gimmick of the AR sensor. It was like such a big deal in the presentation and everything, and they've used it in like one game or two.
Yeah,
like I don't know, it's kind of like Nintendo to be like just kind of being like, hey, we do this for lunch, but that's it, we're never gonna see it. So that's why I'm a little bit afraid that we're not gonna see it again, but it's in the codes of the game. So
that's the rumor, right? So yeah, those are the first 6 months I'm looking forward to. What's something maybe that you're worried about? Is there anything that you're kind of like, I think I'm worried about this, or I'm not excited for this when it comes to the Switch 2? Is there any concern?
I'm worried about the price increase because of the tariffs. Of course, we don't want to get political on the channel, that's for sure, but it is the reality that we live on right now, is the tariff, you know? As soon as they're not going to be paused again and they're going to go back up at 30%, Nintendo already announced that they might like don't have a choice to just, you know, increase the price of the consoles. So yeah, that's what I'm worried about the most, you know? Just for us, it's not going to be a problem. We're going to have our Switch 2. It's going to be cool and all, but like for the people that are already complaining like about the price of the Switch 2, and after that they have to like deal with a bigger price, I think this is going to hurt Nintendo so much. What I think they should do is just keep the price as is, just to make sure that it's not, because like if the price increases, units are gonna stay in stores. That's for sure.
It's gonna be tough. Yeah, I'm with you there. One thing that I'm worried about is the eShop. That's the thing that I've always been worried about.
Yeah.
They've kind of improved it recently, where a lot of the AI garbage isn't front and center anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's not about, they changed the algorithm in a sense where it's not about how many copies of a game is sold, it's about the revenue of the game.
Oh.
So, because a lot of times you see these AI garbage games on
Oh
the
my God,
eShop,
it's so.
and they're like a penny. So, unfortunately, a bunch of people buy them, right?
Yeah, a
So,
penny. Like who
yeah,
wouldn't?
so it
Like it's
shows that
just.
they've gotten, let's say they've sold 1,000 copies of
Yeah.
this game. That's why it floats to the top on the great deals
Yeah.
or the best sellers, right? Well, they've improved it to be revenue. So the more you spend on a game, they actually measure that now. So
That's
if you
cool.
actually go on your eShop now and you go to the best deals
Hmm.
or the best sellers, now it's more about how much is being spent on the games. So now it's a lot less AI
Yeah.
garbage, thankfully. But my biggest concern is the speed.
Oh my God, it runs
Navigating
so bad.
the eShop is horrible. We've talked about it numerous times.
Hmm.
And if the Switch 2 runs that way on the eShop, I'll be super, super disappointed.
Yeah.
I think it will be better, but it's something that I'm worried about. I'm very much like, it has to be better. It just
Yeah.
has to be.
It's
Please.
more powerful than a PS4, and the PS4's PlayStation Store runs great. Like
Yeah.
great. So I don't know
So
why.
there better not be an excuse.
Yeah. Like they better not be an excuse, because like it's gonna be ridiculous. Like I know it's a portable console, but still it's a very powerful portable console. It's like that's why I was so disappointed with Game Chat, because like I was like, how is it running like shit? Like how is it actually running like shit?
Yeah, I think we'll get into it in our kind of final thoughts here at the end, but we have a ton to review, so we'll see how the actual game chat is. The thing is, like, we can only go off of what we see.
Yeah.
So when you and I actually finally get to test it and give our full review, it'll be interesting to see how, if it weighs down the console or not.
There's a lot
the
of
other thing
speculation right now, That's the thing.
exactly. The other thing I'm kind of worried about is that the mouse gimmick will be ditched very quickly.
Oh, absolutely. That
that's something that I'm worried
100%
about.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of bums me out because I feel like if you're going to go out of your way to do this, and there are so many opportunities for third parties to add it, I'd like to see it implemented,
Yeah.
right? I'm not saying I want it for every game, but I would like it for certain things. Great example, I just got Roller Coaster Tycoon Classic Edition. I would really like a mouse feature for that.
True. Yeah, it just came out recently, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. So I would really like that to be integrated with that. So I really hope they don't ditch the gimmick. At least give it a couple years to see how people are doing it, because it felt like HD Rumble got ditched pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like within a year or two.
Like the only notable titles that I can like think about using HD Rumble is like Mario Odyssey, maybe.
Yeah,
that's
it. True.
Super Smash Ultimate, kind of. But I'm playing it with a GameCube controller, so I can't really feel it in a way.
Yeah, and I played Mario Odyssey with the Pro controller, so I really never even used it there either. I should use it with the Joy-Con on a second playthrough.
But I think it's in the Joy-Cons. It's in the Pro controller, though.
It is, yeah.
But it doesn't feel as good as in the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, when you're doing the actual, motion. Yeah, I should play it that way.
Yeah, I've tried it. I played it first like that for like the first 2 hours, and then after that I switched to Pro Controller because it was kind of new still, the Switch, when it came out, Mario Odyssey. So it was like, oh, let's see how it works with the Joy-Con. I just don't like much. Rather just play on the Pro Controller. Yeah.
Last thing I'm kind of worried about is we learned that there was not going to be any press units. Very weird.
Very weird. Yeah.
That's super weird to me. I hope that doesn't affect the actual integrity of the reviews that are out there. I think people deserve to know if this thing is worth buying or not. Yeah. So whether they're angry at Nintendo for not supplying a press unit, or they're just rushing a review to get something out.
Yeah.
I'd like the job to be done thoroughly.
Yeah.
And I worry about that.
And the thing is, like, the fact that you mention it, I have a feeling that people are going to be so pissed that they're not going to get a review unit, and they usually does. So now they're just going to do a shit review because of that.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
And I'm just like, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Like, people are petty, so I feel like that could be an issue. Hopefully it's not, because like I don't want it to be review bombed just because like they don't get review units. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. So those are just some of the things that I'm worried about. You know, nothing can be perfect when
Mm,
it comes to console launches,
of
right?
course.
There's always something that
Of
that
course.
could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
So let's get to kind of our final thoughts. Ben, what are your final thoughts about the Switch 2 launch? You know, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling
What
good.
are
I'm
you?
feeling good. It's
Yeah,
gonna be nice. It's gonna be cool experience. We experience this every 7 to 8 years, so it's something to cherish.
yeah,
That's my kind of what I'm thinking right now. Is just it's not something that happens often, and it's really something that you have to be there to experience. If you're not there, you're just gonna buy it like 2 or 3 months later or 3 weeks later, and then that's gonna be it. But a console launch is really where like everyone's just happy to be there. They
yeah,
don't mind waiting in line for like 5 hours. Like they just everyone's talking to each other like they've known each other for like forever. It's just a nice thing to live honestly. Like I would honestly recommend to everyone that has one pre-order to do the lineup. I know it sounds
yeah.
stupid, but like it's a really nice thing to live. It's a really nice thing to experience, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But the final thoughts is pretty much, you know, I'm excited for the console. I'm excited for the games that are going to be coming with free upgrades if there are more. I'm really excited about the GameCube ones. I'm just excited about the console in general because the Switch feels very outdated today. Like it's
Yeah,
in 2025, the Switch it's a slow console. It doesn't run
it is.
games great. Even their AAA games doesn't run great. So like we've seen it with Donkey Kong tropical not tropical freeze, but Donkey Kong returns
HD.
HD.
Yeah,
We've seen it with Xenoblade Chronicles X. Even though it was running at 30 on the Wii U, still runs kind of iffy. Echoes of Wisdom runs iffy. Like it's time for an upgrade, and I want to go back to Nintendo games because it's been a while since
mhm.
I've played Nintendo games, honestly. So that's really what I'm looking forward to the most. And yeah, that's pretty much it. How about you, Juice? What are your final thoughts about the console?
Yeah. I'm really excited. This like we've said before,
Hmm.
it's like it's always fun like starting something new,
Yeah,
right? Something fresh. You crack open a new
yeah,
console. It's always exciting. Like you said, there's always like this gaming seems to be so negative these
yeah,
days that sometimes like when these launches happen, it's kind of like a good way to get together and
yeah.
just enjoy gaming together,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah,
I'm really excited about that. And we've never made like we've never reviewed a console before. We've never
yeah.
made
It's our first
videos
time.
and
Yeah,
yeah, I'm very excited to try that,
yeah,
for as little or as many people that want to watch it. I'm
yeah.
I'm excited to like kind of like thoroughly like look into it.
I
That's
think
the
a more
creative side of
objective
me too.
view on the
Yeah.
console than just being a consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's always
So
fun when
nice.
something new
Yeah,
comes around and it's kind of like a nice feeling, right? So that's the thing I'm looking forward to the most.
yeah,
It's gonna be here before you know it. We've been preparing. We have a laundry list of things that Ben and I
yeah,
are gonna be reviewing and breaking down and working on when the console comes out, and our review should be up the week after. So
yeah.
1 week after you'll be able to hear our review on June 12th.
June 12th. Yeah.
Will be our full kind of like 1 week review of the Switch 2, and everyone will be able to hear it out. So we're really excited. It's going to be a good time, and it'll be here before you know it. So we will see you guys in just a week's time,
Yep.
or I guess 2 weeks time, with the Switch 2 review on
Yep.
No Continues, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.